Good evening. Thank you for agreeing to participate in our research. In this video, I will show you how to conduct a multiple stimulus without replacement preference assessment. We also call this the MSWO. There are a few stages to this assessment, the first of which is the pre-session setup. You'll see before you that the space I have is a flat surface like you could find on a desk or a table, and I have cleared it of any unnecessary items. That is, I have only a data sheet, pen or pencil, and the items I'm going to be assessing for preference. It's important to clear the area of any items that could distract the student that you are trying to assess. You should also have a chair and a table for the student to sit at, and you should have cleaned both the area and the items to ensure that they are safe for handling. Once we have set up our assessment in this way, we can move on to what is called the pre-session sampling phase. In this phase, you bring your student over to the table and allow them to have brief access to each one of the things that we are assessing. You can think of this as a sort of taste test for them to get a feel for the items that we're going to be testing them on. If it's a toy, you can show them how it works before letting them sample it. In the case of something like a video game or a movie, it's okay to let them get up from the table whenever they pick it up and take them over to a TV or a video game console to test out the movie or the video game for 30 seconds to a minute before pausing that activity and bringing them back to the table. For most other items, though, it's okay to give them 5 to 10 seconds to play with the item in particular, or to take a small bite of a piece of candy or a drink, one gulp out of a drink. That's okay. We should give enough time for them to have the ability to sample each item before we begin the assessment. If there's one particular item that they don't seem interested in or don't approach, you can point to it and say, try this. If they do, that's great. If they don't worry about it. You can just move on. Once the student has had time to sample all or most of the items, we move on to the presentation phase of this assessment. Now, this process is very much a use it, then lose it kind of program. You should arrange your 6 different items in a relatively straight line on a table surface, placing each of them 2 to 3 inches apart. Once you've done that, you can bring your student over and have them take a seat. Once they are sitting down, instruct them to pick one and then wait. Give them 5 to 10 seconds to make a choice. Once they have reached for an item, such as this protein bar, let them play around with it for about 30 seconds, or in the case of food or a drink, let them get one bite or one big gulp out of it. Once they have made their choice and they have been able to access that item for about those 30 seconds, you simply remove it and put it out of their reach. Once you have done that, we rotate the rest of the items we have on display. Now, to do that, we take the leftmost item and put it at the far right end of our group, and we move everything else down, making sure that they are still evenly spaced apart. Once we have rotated the group in this way, we will say again, pick one, and then we wait for the student to make another choice. Now, that's how it will ideally go. However, sometimes students do something different. Sometimes they might reach for 2 items at the same time, like this cup of tea and this tablet. If they do that, you should give them only the first one they touched and block them from making contact with the other one. So in this case, if I reach for the tea and then I start reaching for the tablet as well, you should gently move their hand away and point to the cup and say, that's your choice. Again, give them 30 seconds or one big gulp, and then move it away and write down on your data sheet the second choice that they made. In this case, a cup of tea. Then, again, we rotate our group, moving leftmost to rightmost, keeping a relatively even spacing of 2 to 3 inches, and then we move into the next choice. We do this until all of the items have been played with and we have none left, or the student makes no selection of the remaining items for 30 seconds. In either case, the assessment phase will be over, and for the trial in which no choice was made, instead of writing the item name, you will write no selection, or NS for short. And that's it. Thanks for watching.